going on, Jerome's? So, yes, it is a little bit too early to do a 53-man rooster and practice squad projection because, the draft class and rookies haven't even had rookie camp. There's no OTAs, no mandatory minicamp, no training camp, no preseason. But also, I don't care. So we're going to do up a 53-man rooster and practice squad projection based on, I don't know, vibes and whatnot. So your Minnesota Vikings, looking at the offensive depth chart. So gray are incumbents, veterans back for the first time. Yellow are offseason acquisitions, free agents, and trades. And green are rookies, so draft picks and UDFAs. And also, so we used to designate between draft picks and UDFAs, but you are all equally worthless to me. And also, I feel like as long as you're in the building, like draft status should completely go out the window. So 4 quarterbacks, blah, 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 blah. You know what's up, right? And the Vikings, I actually like the way that they backfilled the offensive line. So they drafted Rouse and Jurgens, and they got a couple of pipe hitters with the UDFA class. So I love me some Doug Nestor. I love me some, well, I won't say I love Jeremy Flax, but he's interesting. Also, he's got some fight in him. There's a viral video of Flax suplexing a teammate at Kentucky, but I kind of like it, man. Defensively, so the Vikings went hard in the paint on the defensive line in UDFAs as well as in the 7th round with Levi Drake Rodriguez. I love what they did on the edge, drafting Dallas Turner and also picking up Bo Richter and Gabe Murphy, Noah Porter on the edge. I think Dallas Gant's going to be fantastic. Kyrie they drafted. McLaughlin I think has a good shot, as well as Rackard. Hopefully going to solve the kicking situation. So, long story longer, this is the 53-man roster and a 16-man practice squad as we see it. Well, actually, hold on. No, I am correct. All right, so a 53-man roster, 16 on the practice squad, 25 on offense, 25 defense, and 3 special teams. So 3 columns, 1 roster. Number 2 is a practice squad, and 3 is cut, waived, and also we'll put traded in there. We'll get into it. So there's a couple surprises. So for the Vikings, Darnold and McCarthy, your 2 quarterbacks on the roster, so complete turnover on the 53. Mullins and Jaron Hall in the practice squad. Now, this is important because I actually think that they will keep 4 quarterbacks in the sphere, because last year with the Vikings and around the league, it showed you the value of quarterback depth. And also, Mullins, I mean, he does have a lot of institutional knowledge. Jaron Hall, I don't think they're ready to give up on as a developmental backup quarterback, which does have value. And, I mean, Darnold, $10 million, he's going to be the guy. McCarthy drafted, 1st round, he's going to be the guy. And so that's how that's going to set up. Running backs-wise, so 3 on the roster plus fullback C.J. Ham, Aaron Jones, Ty Chandler, as well as King Kene and Wangu, who's, that's right. Have to properly signify royalty. Also, so backstory. So we have a lot of random references on the show, but we never explained the genesis or etymology of him. So King Kene and Wangu, he's not actually royalty, but since I'm a Liverpool fan, unfortunately, so King Kene Dalglish was a fantastic player, also great manager. Won the Premier League as manager of Blackburn Rovers. So that's where it came from. Kenny got Dalglish, they called him King Kene. And so we call Kene and Wangu King Kene. There you go. McBride on the practice squad. I actually think they got high hopes for McBride, as evidenced by the fact that the Vikings didn't draft a running back. They didn't sign one outside of Aaron Jones, and they didn't bring in any UDFAs, which is interesting. Veteran Myles Gaskin is odd man out, cut and waived. Receivers keeping... So... This might be a bit of an imbalance, but keeping 6 on the roster and 3 on the practice squad. I know it probably is going to be 8 total in some way, shape, or form, but whatever. Jefferson, Addison, Powell, Naylor, Trenton Sherfield coming in from the Bills. I think he makes a roster, as well as the first surprise. So Ty James, the pride of Mercer, all he does is put up numbers. Like I know that he didn't test the greatest, but I think he's going to come in and turn some heads, and I think that he will make the roster. Practice squad, Malik Knowles. So, forgotten man last year, but a UDFA out of Kansas State. Big-time return ability, but was injured and missed all of last season. But I think that he'll impress enough to make the practice squad. Or you could swap out Thayer Thomas, the pride of NC State, for Malik Knowles. Tristan Jackson, Syracuse, getting it done, as well as Devron Harper, Ty James' teammate at Mercer. I think that having some plus return ability and having multiple guys that can return punts and kicks, I think is going to be paramount, especially with the new kick return rules. Cut waived N'Keal Harry. Do you know N'Keal Harry was a first-round pick? Lucky Jackson, Dylon Baldwin, as well as Deshaun Jones and Thayer Thomas cut and waived in this iteration. Tight end. So Hockenson, Oliver, and Munt. Now, I think they're pretty optimistic that Hockenson may be ready for week 1, but I know that they're going to take it nice and slow. So this could be a spot where Hockenson is on the pup, and then they have an additional tight end on the 53. Another upset. So I got Trey Knox supplanting Nick Muse, 7th-round pick from a couple years ago. Just a vibe. 9 on the offensive line. I know that we're supposed to provide analysis, but sometimes it's just like, because I feel like it. Offensive line. So your presumptive starting 5 is going to be Darisaw, Brandel, Garrett Bradbury, Ed Ingram, and Brian O'Neill. 4 backups. Diamond Dan Feeney is going to be your swing interior backup as well as center. Same thing with Michael Juergens. I think Juergens could actually compete for one of the starting guard spots. Wouldn't shock me at all. And I think eventually he will take over as a starting center for Garrett Bradbury. Walter Rouse is going to develop into a valuable swing tackle. Maybe takes over for O'Neill. I know that they've talked about kicking him inside. I just don't see it. I don't see it with Rouse. Nah. Also, Quisenberry is a very solid veteran swing tackle, but he's certainly up there in age. I got Doug Nestor, the pride of West Virginia, formerly Virginia Tech, former teammates of Christian Darisaw back in the day, as well as Jeremy Flax. Jeremy Flax, 350 pounds if he's an ounce. Let's completely flip the script on this O-line, man. And then cut waived Tyrese Robinson, Henry Bird, 2 guys on futures contracts, as well as Cindric and Spencer Rowland, the local kid. Defensively, so not quite back to having the meats, but we're meats adjacent. Not beyond meats, but so Tillery and Bullard going to be starting 5 techs, as well as Harrison Phillips on the nose. I think that Jaquelin Roy is going to get a lot more run in year 2. Hopefully, Jihad Ward is going to add some stability, both as an edge as well as playing inside at defensive end. Plus Levi Drake Rodriguez. All right, so I mean, he's not even like a 5 tech. Just call him like an under tackle. Call him a 3 tech. You can do a lot of things, man. But I just think Heart and Hustle is going to win the day. Taki Taimani, Oregon, formerly of Washington. So the Vikings, they lack that nose tackle again. Now, Kairos Tonga, why didn't they just play Kairos Tonga? I don't know. But now Taimani comes in as the only true nose on the rooster. He remains on the practice squad. Veteran Jonah Williams, who they picked up. I know that he had some crossover with Kevin O'Connell and company with the Rams, but he could be the odd man out. Same thing with Tyler Manoa, another UDFA defensive lineman. Edge rushers. So, I mean, edge rusher is going to be super interesting for the Vikings. So you got Grenard, you got Van Ginkel coming in as a high profile free agents. You drafted Dallas Turner in the first round, and Van Ginkel does have off ball capabilities as well, so he could be used as a chess piece for Flores. And then you got Patrick Jones second in the contract year. Gabe Murphy making the 53 man. I kind of like it. It's a little bit like Luigi Villain from back in the day. Practice squad, Andre Carr II, as well as Bo Richter, the pride of Air Force, getting things done. So 2 service academy men, Carter Army, Bo Richter Air Force on the practice squad. Cut waived Owen Porter. Off ball. So you got Pace, Blake Cashman, Cruz Hill, as well as Dallas Gant. The pride Toledo tackling machine, formerly Ohio State. I love him. I think that he's quickly going to become a fan favorite as well. I think that he's going to do great with the new kick return rules in terms of coverage on those. Asama on the practice squad. So I'm going to be honest. Asama, Booth, Evans, and Scene. So 4 high-profile selections from 2022. I could see them being cut or traded for whatever, like a late round draft pick swap, because the Vikings, I mean, they're bereft of draft picks next year. Maybe they recoup a little something, sure, but I don't know. I feel like there's too much value just to cut. But I think if things aren't working out, and of course on the defensive side of the ball, Flores ain't gonna broke no BS. If you ain't with the program, you're not gonna play. All right, so I think that's where it could be ended up. So cut waived Beauplan, Cloyd, as well as Donovan Manuel. Cornerbacks wise, so keeping Keeping 5, plus special teamer Najee Thompson, the legend. So Shaq Griffin, Mekhi Blackmon on the outside, Byron Murphy in the slot, Kyrie Jackson, and Dwight McGlothern also on the 53, as well as Jalen Williams, who is fantastic in the slot. Last year's UDFA out of Indiana, plus Joejuan Williams. So Williams and Kyrie Jackson give you extreme length on the outside. Same thing with McGlothern. Cut, waived, or traded Booth, Evans, AJ Green. Now, I want Booth or Evans to work out. I don't know. Like, I feel like it's hard to get out of Brian Flores' doghouse, but we'll see what happens, man. Safety-wise, yeah, so the Vikings go super deep at safety, but in terms of practicality and numbers, keeping 4 on the 53, Harrison, Beasley, Metellus. Beasley and Metellus played at a Pro Bowl level last year. Carry on my Jayward son, played some really great special teams. Theo Jackson, speaking of special teams, he's a plus special teamer there. Cut, waived, or traded, Lewis Cine. Now, I know with Lewis Cine, the compound fracture of the leg really set things back. Oh, but he wasn't playing anyway. He was a rookie. All right, so he was a rookie behind Harrison, Beasley, and Metellus. His rookie year. So it's whatever. So I think I do think that, yeah, it's tough, but it sort of is what it is, right? Do you hang on to a guy who isn't performing just because of his draft status, and you don't want to admit that things didn't work out? Nah. Just take the hit. Then Reichard, I do think that Ryan Wright will hold off Seth Vernon, as well as Andrew DePaulo, the ageless wonder. Also, what's interesting is that the Vikings are currently have 91 players on the 90-man roster, because a corresponding move for Seth Vernon hasn't been made as of yet. So that's something to keep an eye on. But other than that, again, way too early. And I want the guys that we listed as cut, waived to shove this in our face. Like, once they make the rooster, once they become a starter, once they get all the money, once they become a Hall of Famer, once they lead the Vikings to a dozen Jerome Bardys. Like, I want Deshaun Jones to become a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like, I want Deshaun Jones to become the next Randy Moss / Jerry Rice. That's what I want, man. Or maybe Stephon Diggs, Pride of Maryland. There you go. But that's it. Way too early. 53-man rooster projection. You guys are the best you know what to do. Skull production value.